I'm supposed to be a normal mechanic, but everything I fix turns out absolutely unhinged. Like I just tried to fix a little e-scooter, and it turned into an electric wheelchair doing 300 km/h, terrorizing every street racer in the neighborhood and breaking every traffic record known to man. Fixed an AC unit, turned it into a microclimate regulator that keeps a constant temperature shield around the whole place. All because I got bonded to this wild, broken brain tech tree system. Its whole thing is catching you off guard and never playing by the rules. Right now I'm crouched outside my repair shop, fixing a customer's e-bike. Job done. Then I see this glowing orb slowly drifting toward the bike in my hands. My heart drops. I swat it away fast. Dude, not again. Honestly, when I first got bonded to this crooked tech tree system, I was actually pumped. Because whenever something I fix resonates with the tech tree, it drops one of these orbs. Not only does it upgrade whatever I just fixed, it also gives me access to higher level knowledge. But then I realized this system is absolutely unhinged, and I mean that on a whole different level. Last time, a customer rolled in on his e-bike and asked me to slap on a pair of training wheels. The second the orb dropped, his e-bike straight up turned into an electric wheelchair going 300 km/h. What? You trying to outrun the Grim Reaper? Couldn't do anything about it. Had to buy the guy a brand new e-bike. And the time before that, I was just fitting a customer with a windshield and heated handlebars. The orb hit, and the windshield became a full-on aerodynamic fairing. Yep, paid out again. Bottom line, this thing never does what it's supposed to. I just shook my head, completely done with it. Just then, Grandpa Lao Lin pushed through the door. Hey kiddo, which one of these can I ride? Grandpa needs to head back to the old house and grab some stuff. I pointed outside at the used vehicles. Any of those out front work. Keys are in them. Just take it slow though, you're over 70, be careful out there. Old Lin patted his chest. Relax, I'm built different. He turned, walked outside, looked around, and his eyes landed on a wheelchair. All black, wide seat, control panels on both armrests, rear wheels noticeably bigger than a normal wheelchair. Looked pretty wild. Old Lin carefully sat down, rested his feet on the footrests, felt amazing, like sinking into a couch. Solid support all around. He nodded, satisfied. Then one of the side panels suddenly lit up. A robotic voice played. Please fasten your seatbelt. This wheelchair is equipped with autopilot. Please enter your destination. Old Lin's eyes lit up. Man, technology these days. Even wheelchairs are this smart now. He buckled up, cleared his throat, and said, "Take me to number 12, Group 3, Wuhei Village, Zhujiang Road." The moment he finished speaking, the robotic voice came back. Destination confirmed. Distance, 32.7 kilometers. Comfort mode estimated travel time, 67 minutes. The wheelchair started moving on its own, and Old Lin was genuinely amazed. This thing is incredible, auto-navigating, dodging manhole covers on its own. Even stops for red lights. He thought, if he ever gets too old to walk, this is the ride. Old Lin kicked back, crossed his legs, casually rested one hand on the armrest, and felt a red button. "What's this red button for?" he muttered to himself, and pressed it. Next second, the voice fired back. "Initiating beast mode, remaining distance 30 kilometer, estimated time 20 minutes. 30 km 20 minutes, that's like 90 km/h. Before Old Lin could even process that, he heard the motor spin up into a low roar. Then the wheelchair shot forward like a rocket, and every other vehicle on the road just froze up at the sight of it. Bro, a four-wheeler just got passed by a two-wheeler? And it's a wheelchair? No way. Drivers rubbed their eyes instinctively. They blinked again, nothing there. Must have been imagining things. Meanwhile, out on the national highway in the suburbs of Jiangzhou, traffic police captain Wang Jiangguo was directing his squad to set up roadblocks. Ever since this stretch of road was built, it had basically become a private racetrack for street racers. Residents were fed up, and there had been multiple serious crashes. So the department launched a special operation and invited the provincial TV station to live stream the whole crackdown. On top of that, they rolled out high-tech vehicle jammers that could mess with the electronics on souped-up e-bikes and force them to stop on their own. And as a final layer, rows of speed bumps to max out the safety of the operation. Everything was locked in. Wang Jiangguo eyeballed the traffic cams and signaled everyone to get ready. Cameras show the racers are already on the move, 5 kilometers out. 5 kilometers away, a dozen heavily modded e-bikes were tearing down the road, covered in colorful LED strips, absolutely popping in the evening light. Rock music blasting from their speakers, the whole crew was hyped, clearly the baddest squad on the road. The last rider in the pack was about to slow down and pop a sick wheelie, when suddenly a gust of wind blew right past him. Then he watched a wheelchair blow right past him. Kid was dead silent for a second. What the? A wheelchair? I just got passed by a wheelchair? He slammed the throttle and keyed his comms. Yo guys, there's a wheelchair passing us. The guys up front burst out laughing. Bro, a wheelchair. Do you even hear yourself right now? But mid-laugh, the second to last rider got past too. Holy craps, it actually is a wheelchair. The whole crew looked back, and sure enough, there's an old man in a wheelchair absolutely ripping past them. Nobody was taking that disrespect lying down. Every single one of them pinned their throttles at the same time, maxing out their speed. But all they could do was watch Old Lin drop them one by one. Only a handful of the most heavily modded bikes could barely keep up. They hit a red light. The wheelchair stopped. Old Lin was shaking, still not over it. Why is this wheelchair so fast all of a sudden? One by one, the bikes pulled up alongside the wheelchair. The rider stared at Old Lin, still sitting there with his legs crossed, eyes practically glowing. Is this what their future looks like? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Old Lin looked over at the kids and desperately blurted out, "Have any of you ever driven one of these things?" The second he finished talking, the light turned green, and the wheelchair launched again. The remaining riders just looked at each other. Blondie, what did that old dude just say? Couldn't hear him over the music. I think he said, "Can you beat a wheelchair?" Bro, this guy is straight up trash talking us. Let's go, boys. The second he said it, every bike roared at once. The front riders hit their boost switches. Motors screaming at full tilt, topping out at 200 km/h. You could visibly see them closing in on the wheelchair. Back on the wheelchair, old Lin was forcing himself to stay calm, staring at the row of buttons, thinking it through. I pressed the red button and it sped up, so pressing it again should turn it off, right? He nervously pressed it one more time. Next second, the bright electronic voice chimed, Super Beast mode activated. Old Lin's stomach dropped. Welp, I am absolutely cooked. He squeezed his eyes shut, too scared to move, white-knuckling both armrests. The street racers were just about to pull up on him, but the second they matched his speed, old Lin vanished into the distance, leaving them all in the dust. Meanwhile, Captain Wang stared down the road and said firmly, Everyone stay sharp, nobody gets through today. Right after he said that, an officer shouted, Captain, speed detector alert, it's reading 272 km/h. Wang Jianguo frowned. What, is the detector broken? The highway speed limit is only 100, and this isn't even a highway, it's the suburbs. Still processing, the officer shouted again, It's going up, 283 km/h, 285 km/h. Wang Jianguo still had no idea what was going on, but waved everyone off to the side of the road. At the same time, the drone hovering overhead blasted through its speaker. Vehicles ahead, pull over for inspection. A sharp-eyed officer spotted a tiny black dot in the distance and yelled, Get ready, like something's coming. By the time he finished that sentence, the dot was already right in front of them. It's a wheelchair, and the entire livestream audience lost their minds. Everyone watched a wheelchair blast through the first barrier at insane speed, and somehow, the vehicle jammer had absolutely zero effect on it. Then came the rows of speed bumps. Everyone just stood there watching as the wheelchair glided over them like they weren't even there. Not a single jolt, like it literally flew over them. By the time the wheelchair shrank back into a tiny dot, the crowd finally snapped out of it. Is that actually a wheelchair? After a brief moment of silence, the live stream chat went absolutely nuclear. Yo!